Welcome to Content Inspire. I'm your host, Andrew Calvino, and today I have the legend and badass herself, Kendall Strampel. We met through our affiliation with Ghost. She's absolutely amazing and kicks ass on social media. So super happy to have her on. I have a feeling when she shares her story, you guys are going to go after it. So introduce yourself to the listeners.
Yo, awesome intro. Thank you.
Thanks.
Super grateful to be here. So what's up, guys? My name is Kendall. You can call me Ken. So most people call me Coach Ken. But wow, I'm going to give you guys more of a short version here, but I started my journey off when I was super young. So I started on social media when I was like 14 or 15. I was actually one of those like Tumblr girls, and I did a lot of like Tumblr stuff. I did like YouTube. I would like repurpose old YouTube videos and lyric videos. So I actually got on social media when I was super young. And I think I learned the ropes a lot. And I was always kind of a weird kid. I would kind of stay home, go on my computer. I did a lot of like gaming and stuff too when I was really young, played a lot of League, just kind of funny. And, just kind of always like a little bit more of like the shy, weird kid. And I got into fitness at a pretty young age. I was about 13, 14. I was running track for my school and started to like the fact that I was losing weight. I also turned to social media at this time and started sharing more of my fitness journey and just what I was doing essentially. And unfortunately, the pendulum kind of swung a little too far one way where I started to kind of buy into a lot of the bodybuilding community. And I will tell you guys, like, I love the bodybuilding community. I think it's phenomenal. Unfortunately, I just looked at it from a viewpoint that wasn't that healthy. And I started to restrict my food a lot to the point where I ended up having an eating disorder. And so I got diagnosed with anorexia when I was 15. Long story short, I will say I had the best support system. Like I really worked hard to pull myself out of it. But also social media, the thing that kind of got me into it was also the thing that got me out of it, because I started to follow creators and people who were really encouraging and really inspiring. And so I shared my journey, I shared my recovery story, and lo and behold, I graduated high school and ended up having like almost, I think like 60 to 70,000 followers on Instagram at the time, which that was 2016. So that was when Instagram was kind of like not really that big of a thing. It was a little bit of a smaller platform. And I started getting like sponsors and I started like getting into the fitness space. And just through sharing my journey, a lot of people started reaching out to me to start coaching. And so I was going into college that year. And by the time my freshman year of college ended, I was in community college and I decided I was just going to go all out on fitness coaching. And so I started using social media and sharing my story and things like that to essentially just get some clients on board. And I was like I was very risky, took big risks and did all the things when I was really young. I would say I'm still like that for sure. But I just decided to drop out of college after my first year, moved down to Florida with my sister so that I could just pursue personal training and online coaching. And lo and behold, the business ended up really growing and other coaches started reaching out to me. So when I got my sponsorship with Ghost fully at the time, and just continued to grow. And then I ended up coaching other coaches. So here I am now. I'm 24. I'm out in San Diego, California, and I still can't believe my life is what it is. I still am so grateful every single day, but that's a very long-winded story kind of condensed down. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Damn, I just got chills. And that was an amazing introduction. So community, yeah, Kendall just gave it all out. So that's awesome. I'm glad that you're on. And first question your way is, what is your why?
Oh, this is so good. This is such a good question. Generational wealth has been like the number one thing for me. It's such a big push for me to look at like, what are we doing to the planet? What are we doing every single day in our life to not just provide for what we're currently doing, but the future? And so that's been something for me that every single day when I wake up, I think it was the reason I dropped out of college. I think it was the reason I moved across the country and at 18 did the whole nonconformity and broke the traditional path. And I believe it's because I knew inherently like I had a bigger mission and a bigger vision. And that was not just for myself, but it was for generations to come. So Plain and simple, I think generational wealth is 100% the reason I wake up every morning and do what I do.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me and the Content Inspire community. And Fears to Fit coaching. What is your main goal for yourself as a coach when clients sign on?
Oh, I love these questions. I think this is the biggest thing that I've realized recently, and I think this has actually changed over time. It used to be about physique. It used to be about health. It used to be about good relationship with food. And I think I've kind of pinpointed down over just especially the last, I would even say 6 months to a year, as we built out our coaching staff and we brought on coaches and built up a bigger client team, is that all of those things are a product or kind of come after you build up more consciousness and self-awareness. And so when women come into our team for coaching, something that we really work with is behavior change, habit shifts, behavioral intervention. So what are the things, more so it's who do you need to be to do the things that you need to do to have what you want. So I always say it's be, do, have. Be who you want to be to do the things that you need to do to have what you want. And I think with Fears to Fit, that's been the biggest pivot we've been seeing recently, is just more of a mindset aspect of things, kind of like the same mind over matter. Mindset's kind of it's the cornerstone to everything else you do. So yeah, it's been a big shift we've had.
Okay. And then what do you look for when you bring on a coach to work within your organization?
Oh, man. So it's kind of cool. We have 7 coaches on the team now, which is awesome. And really diversity is a really big thing for us in terms of how can we continue to support more women, and how can we provide a coaching staff that also can cater to different scenarios. So a lot of women who come into our program, they look to come in for body recomposition, where they're looking at increasing metabolic rate to be able to lose body fat, have a healthier relationship with their body, with food. And so we really do look for coaches who are willing to put in the work for the evolution side of things for themselves. I always say, like, our company is almost like a personal development company. Whenever somebody comes into Fears to Fit or WWBA, our business coaching side, we really work on skill sets, but we also really work on just evolving as a person. And so we look for people who are going to come in and also grow with us, not just be there to show up to work. Like, we have so much fun as a team on the back end. And so really someone who culturally is going to be a fit. They want to be included in our family. They want to represent evolution and growth. And of course, the educational piece is really important for us too, but that's something we also evolve and help our coaches learn over time. So just really good human. I really value people who have a value set that they live by, or principles that they live by. And so that's something that we look for when we're making hires on the team.
Awesome. So I'll certainly put everything in the box down below, details. If anybody's interested, definitely check it out. And how many female coaches have you worked with to scale their businesses and brands?
Ooh, this is such a good question. Okay, so I will say I love this one because it kind of is like a catalyst for a bunch of other things too. But we actually used to be a co-ed program. So I started business coaching about 2.5 years ago. And I used to coach both men and women for business coaching. Okay. And so far, we've helped over 350 coaches in the last 2.5 years. Also, the number's probably a little bit higher since I last looked at that. It was about 2 months ago or so. But we pivoted about a month and a half ago to the Wealthy Women's Business Academy from Elevate Coaching Academy. So now we only help female coaches. But yeah, I would say it's probably a little over like 350, closer to 400 coaches in the last 2 years.
Damn, that's so incredible, and congrats for accomplishing that.
Thanks.
Then how did your relationship being an athlete with Ghost start? So many people are looking to be with Ghost or their dream brands and are just looking for just some insight on how to make it happen.
Yeah. Okay. So I love this story. So I was actually at an expo. I was at the San Diego Fit Expo.
Nice.
I think it's probably like 2018 or 2019, maybe. I think it was 2018. And I had just connected to a really good friend of mine. Her name is Lauren Tickner, and she sunk me up with Alphalete. She had connected me to Alphalete, whom I love so much. And from signing with Alphalete was kind of funny. CJ, who's the affiliate manager at Ghost, he pointed me out at the expo. He's like, "Hey, you just signed with Alphalete, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And he was like, "No way, like, you should try our products. Like, you know, here's a bag. And they were so sweet. Like they were so, so sweet. I already was like obsessed with the brand anyway. I had been using their pre-workout at the time. And they sent me home with a bunch of supplements from the expo. And Ryan gave me his card and was like, give me a call next week. And I was scared to ship this. I was like, well, it's like a curse. But I was super scared.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this. Like, this is terrifying to me. This company is like already so big. And yeah, I gave him a call and we talked a little bit about, you know, like what my value sets were, you know, where I saw myself going with the company, what the vision looked like for myself and for my own company, which is what I really valued about them is they cared, like they really care, you know? And so through asking me those questions and things like that, we just started to build up the relationship to the point where eventually brought me on as an athlete with them. And so, yeah, that's where it started. It was really cool.
That's so sick. Glad you're part of the Ghost fam, for real.
Yeah, they're dope. So.
And if you had, because I know that we've done athlete collabs and all that good fun stuff, have you thought about a product and a flavor that you would love to release?
This is a tough one. I feel like everything that I would possibly ever want is like already done by Ghost. They have the best collabs. I think if there's one I would do, it's gonna be like a Nutella inspired because I'm obsessed with Nutella, or like a Ferrero Rocher. It'd be so good, like so good. That would be like my top though. Is definitely Nutella.
So many people would absolutely lose their shit.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then another quick question your way is, what is your favorite platform to create content for? Instagram, YouTube, podcasting? Because I know you do podcasts as well. So,
you know, this is what I'm going to say is that there are more of the platforms I feel almost like kind of obligated to post on versus the ones that I'm like, ooh, this is actually really fun. I love Instagram. It's my main platform. It's where I post. But I will say as of recent, it's been one of my least favorite places to consume and also to produce. I love TikTok. I think TikTok is funny. It cracks me up. It's not that the effort, it takes less effort, but kind of, you know, just very like real and raw. So I love TikTok. I also really love YouTube. I just got back on YouTube. So I've been producing about a YouTube video every single week. And we started that earlier a few months ago. And I love YouTube. I got back into vlogging. I was doing a lot of sit down talks, but I think having that like long form content is nice, right? Because you don't have like that limited time where like you have to cut off your story or you have 60 seconds. Like you get to lay it all out. And I think a lot more people connect to YouTube videos because they get to see the fully fledged you know. So
awesome. And are you doing everything in-house, your own editing, your own filming, or do you have a photographer that you're using at this time?
Yeah, so I have pretty much a full media team now. This is something more as of recent. So I have someone who comes in to support me with the creation of the content, especially for our community pages. So for the coaching teams, that's all done by social media management. And then I also have a marketing specialist who comes in to support. And then I have a full-time content creator now who does all of my filming for me. And then he also edits a lot of the reels. Anything on my main page though is done by myself. So any of my workout videos, anything on my Kendall Strampel Instagram or on my TikTok, those are all my personal posts that I create myself. But a lot more of the business content is like fully outsourced.
Okay, that's sick. And then I know you made a recent change of your IG handle from Fierce to Fit to Kendall Strampel. Was that like a business decision long term that you just wanted to be more known as Kendall Strampel, or just peace out, Fierce to Fit?
Do you know how hard this was for me? I cried like multiple times. It was really, really tough, Andrew. Like I had such a tough time doing this. I held on to this for years. My mentor back in 2019, I think it was, he had said to me, he was like, you need to change your Instagram handle because people are only going to know you by your name or by your brand name. And they're not going to know who Kendall is. And it really struck for me earlier this year. I was at an event and someone just came up to me and was like, you're Fierce to Fit, right? And I was like, no, I was like, actually almost like upset. I was like, no, my name is Kendall. Like I have a name, you know, it's like kind of how I felt. And I was like, you can't really blame people for thinking that that's what they know me by, you know? And I realized for myself, like my vision with wealth creation and to support women in business is not attached to Fierce to Fit. And so I had to slowly kind of start to remove myself, because I also have a full team that runs my fitness coaching business. I've taken a huge step back. And so I almost felt like it was a disservice to make me be the face of it. You know, when I have a team of coaches that are running the client work, they're running the client success, a lot of the content. And so it was more so, a decision to be able to detach myself from the brand a little bit more, but also to let light shine on my coaching staff too. So
that's sick.
Yeah.
And how important is it to have systems in place so that you're able to step a little bit away from the business and for the business to grow and 10x to reach those numbers that you want?
Oof, this is so important. This is something I made a YouTube video about this yesterday. This is something I've been preaching. Literally, I could preach it till I'm blue in the face. I'm obsessed with systems. I love creating them. I love operations. And I think it's the reason I was able to scale my business, both businesses, as quickly as I have, and be able to run two at once, because that is not an easy task. But I think the big thing is, for a lot of people now, is they find a lot of like solace in the flow and intuition, which I think is awesome. But if you don't have structure, it's really hard to scale. It's also really hard to keep chaos out of the business, because if you want to have a healthy team, if you want your team to respect you as a CEO or as a leader, you have to delegate properly. And the only way to really do that is through clear communication, and that comes through clear systems. So if I could rate it on a scale of 10, I would say a 12. Like, make sure you have systems, please. So one thing that helps you keep your sanity as well, not just within the business, but outside of the business.
Okay. And then in regards to content creation, do you have a content schedule regarding what you post and when you post?
I'll give you guys the rundown of the last few years. So I'll tell you all, until this year, I was like a wing it kind of gal. I only produced really for my own page, and then myself and coaching staff created our community page content. But because we're on so many platforms nowadays, we repurpose to now Pinterest, LinkedIn, email list, Facebook groups, and then both community pages. And we do that for two businesses. So it's a lot of platforms. And I will say, if anyone out there is a content creator and you're looking to scale out a business, start with one platform first. This is my 6th year in the game, going into year 6. So now that's why we're heading into different platforms and expanding and doing a lot of testing. But I did not have a content schedule until I brought in team members that made me create a content schedule. So I love flowing with my stuff. Like most people know me for being on my story every day. I don't plan those. I still don't plan them to this day. I just hop on there and talk about whatever I feel like is coming to me that day. And I know most people can't do that or don't like doing that, but that's what I do, you know, so yeah.
And now the super fun questions. So what is your favorite place to travel to?
Okay, so I went to Tulum earlier this year. Oh my gosh, if you guys can get yourself over there, please do. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. It was the most fun I've ever had. It was the first time I probably ever unplugged in a vacation fully. So I'm actually going back again because I love it so much. In the next few weeks, I'm going for New Year's Eve. Yeah, it was definitely, I would say 100% it was Tulum. Really good vibes.
Awesome. Glad you had that experience. And then what music do you listen to while working out?
Ooh, okay. So y'all already know my bass head. It is like rhythm, dubstep, anything that is just like bass worthy is like my favorite kind. I will say I have gotten a little bit more into like the house scene and techno scene recently, which is unlike me, but I'm like a tried and true bass head at heart. So
okay. And then next festival or rave you want to go to?
Let's see, I just went to one last weekend.
Okay.
I went to Nocturnal Wonderland with one of my good friends, Caroline. And I have a lot coming up. I got Sullivan King, who's he's my ultimate like favorite DJ. I'm seeing him in LA in October. And then after that, I'm going to Escape Halloween here in San Bernardino. So
nice, sick. And then what is your favorite show to watch on Disney Plus, Netflix, or Hulu when you unplug? And just in case, if you do not watch TV, what do you do to unplug from the daily bullshit?
What do I do? I don't watch TV. I got the attention span of like like a 5-year-old. It's really hard for me to watch TV. I would say unplugging for me is a lot of time in nature. It's definitely a lot of time in nature. I feel like because the businesses I've been working on scaling them up so much.
Mhm.
Whenever I get free time, it's been a lot of travel. It's been a lot of like going to raves and festivals. And at night, the big thing for me is with an unplug, it's usually like sunset with friends, and I spend a lot of time with my people. Like I would say probably at least 3 to 4 nights a week. I'm like seeing a different friend. There's so many people out in California and so many people that I love so much, including clients too, which is really cool. So anytime I get to unplug, it's usually with people. If not, it's usually by myself where I'm just like chilling with my cats and like scrolling on TikTok, and that's like the majority of it. So
So normally I'm not a cat person, but ever since you got your cats and you post them on your stories, I'm just there like, oh my God, super
right.
cute, interactive, funny. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, damn. All right.
Yo, I got so lucky because let me tell you, I'm not a cat person at all, like in
Mhm.
any way, shape, or form. If you would have asked me like 2 years ago, like if I would have ever had cats, it would be a no. But like my cats are the bomb, dude. They're the bomb. They're so funny.
That's sick. So, Kendall, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being on Content Inspire, for sharing your story, who you are. Like I said, I have a feeling when people listen to your story, they're going to go after it. And that's what it's all about. So, is there anything that you would like to say to the listeners before we hop off?
Try to leave you guys with something good. I think the biggest thing is like if there's anyone out there listening that wants inspiration for content or is struggling to produce content or is struggling to take a leap towards an action or a goal that you know that you have or a desired outcome, desired reality, is there are always going to be people out there judging you, right? So I think the biggest thing is like not everyone's going to understand why you do what you do or why you produce the content that you do. Go in with an intention, go in with a vision, and focus on that. Sometimes you almost have to live in delusion to get the thing that you want because there are people around you aren't going to support you. And so if you're looking for inspiration for content, it's all inside. It's not outward, it's inward. So yeah, that's my biggest takeaway for anybody. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. This is so much fun.
Awesome. And for everyone that tuned in, watched, and gave support, thank you so much. And until next time.